A thread by Brian Cates. Every patriot must expend all their efforts into re-electing this man. Let no one lead you away from supporting Trump. Right now, a bunch of supposed conservative influencers, when they're not trying to get the Trump base to massively reduce its cultural footprint just before the election by moving a bunch of it to less visible social media platforms, they're trying something else. They're doing what I call the Trump betrayal dance. If Trump does DACA amnesty, he's betrayed us. We cannot vote for him. Some try a variation. If indictments haven't come by election day, we must not vote for Trump. The strategy is the same. On the first, these conservative influencers are straight up lying to you. Trump's DACA plan has no amnesty in it. DACA kids have to self-deport and file to return with legal status to receive a pathway to citizenship where they must complete all the steps over a number of years. On the second, they're trying to take people's frustrations at no one being indicted yet to talk them into quitting their Trump support. The pitch is, Trump's handled this all wrong. He's obviously weak. So if no indictments by election day, stay home. Never mind, there is over 100 days to go until election day, more than an entire summer vacation for some indictments to be unsealed. You're supposed to be depressed right now and thinking about what a dumbass Trump is if you listen to these influencers. I'm not worried about indictments in the slightest. Conservative influencers selling the narrative that Trump and Barr's big strategy for which they enlisted Durham, Jensen, Grinnell, Ratcliffe, and many others is to roll out all the evidence, clearly show us all the crime, and fully reveal everything that was done. So at the very end, all the exciting conclusion is they let all the dirty cops go. They say this is the plan, you see. 4 years in the execution. Well, excuse me, don't be stupid. If you can't spot people deliberately crafting narratives to trigger your biases and your deepest, darkest fears to keep you from listening to them, clicking their websites, reading their blogs, watching their live streams, you'll never break the addiction. And I'm not telling you some of these so-called Trump-supporting conservative influencers are getting ready to try to use whatever influence they have left at this point after 3.5 years of relentless fear porn about Trump's failure to try one last attempt to divide the Trump base. Notice a lot of these influencers that made multiple flouncing exits from the Trump train over the past couple of years are now all back on the train. They cried out, "That's it! Trump has let me down, betrayed me for the last time. See you, suckers," as they departed. And now they're back. Well, don't be surprised if shortly before the election, they do their biggest, loudest, most histrionic, flouncing exit from the room, watching carefully to see how many will follow them outside. I'm not one of them. I came on this Trump train in June 2017, shaking with fear. I had just spent 1.5 years being never Trump and 8 months being hope for the best but expecting the worst about President Trump. I was scared I'd be rejected. The loudmouth who'd spent 18 months insufferably claiming Trump would make the worst president in US history. Now he wants in here? Back then, I only had around 75,000 followers, so about 2/3 of you never saw me in my never Trump prime. So, you'll have to take my word for it when I tell you how insufferable I was. A good friend of mine on here even blocked me for 2 years because I wouldn't shut up. So, when I came out as a new Trump supporter, this was not unlike Saul of Tarsus showing up in Jerusalem and going to the Christian disciples and saying, "Hey guys, guess what? I'm one of you now. Cool, huh?" They all rejected him and he had to leave. There were a few accounts that tweeted at me to get lost and drop dead. They didn't want me here, etc. But since most of those were the same accounts that said immigration in the US was always supposed to be limited to whites only, I didn't pay much attention to those. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand something. Sometimes it's those who made a genuine conversion to Trump support after undergoing their road to Damascus that can best spot those who are faking their Trump support just to build their brands. I've had people contact me several times over the past 3 years who think I'm playing that game. They offer to help me build my brand, increase my reach, enlarge my influence, etc. They offer me services and advice, none of which I take. And one of the biggest strategies for building your conservative influencer brand is you have to demonstrate you are your own person, you follow no man, etc. So, every now and then, you have to flex your muscles and demonstrate your complete independence from Trump. This is why every other month or so, you see the same people going, okay, that's it. Trump really let us all down here. My support for him is dropping like a rock. I'm just keeping it real, yo. It's like a yo-yo in motion, 1 week up, 1 week down. These influencers have been the loudest selling what I call the dumbass Trump narratives ever since he got elected. His presidency is one long, sad tale of his being bent over and ravaged by the deep state as he refuses to listen to the sage advice they yell to him. They spend less than half their time on Trump triumphs, his artful and masterful moves and countermoves, because most of the time they don't even see what it was that Trump was doing at the time. Instead, it's mostly OMG. Trump's been rickrolled again. Let me tell you what these influencers do. They spend all their time reacting to fake news media's coverage of Trump. The fake news stories about Trump, most of which they stupidly take at face value. The fake news polls, too. You know why you only see me post fake news media stories to mock them? Because I know they're fake. You know why you only see me post fake news media polls only to mock them? Because I know they're fake. That's not what these guys do. They want to stoke fear and outrage. I'm not on here to build my brand by taking the daily fake news and spinning it to you to cause maximum fear, panic, and outrage. If all I wanted to do was surface skate and take fake news stories about how Trump is doing for sure now, how hard is that? That requires no talent. No research is involved. The fake news did all the heavy lifting already. All I got to do is take their fake story about Trump and how he really messed up this time and hand it off to you with my comments about, yep, Trump really messed up this time. So anyway, this is turning into a book. Let me sum up. After I got on the Trump train, very grateful to be there, I watched several conservative influencers make dramatic, flouncing exits from it, and then get back on and get off, then back on, over and over. I can see what they're doing. And shortly before the election, they're going to make their biggest, most dramatic, most flouncing exit from the Trump train ever. Here's my advice. Don't follow them off the Trump train. Stay right where you are. And for those asking for specific examples of conservative influencers who are getting ready for a big, dramatic, flouncing exit off the Trump train before November, sure, I'll give you one. I'll give you two. This guy and this fucking guy. I did a thread the other day in which Sloppy Steve and Mr. Gorilla Mindset lied their asses off about Trump's DACA amnesty. Here it is. Yup. Conservative influencers are gearing up to try to split the base and lead a significant chunk of it away from Trump over amnesty to DACA recipients that isn't even happening. Dishonest bastards. Let me make this clear. Amnesty is when people don't do anything. You just wave your magic wand over them and say the words, presto changeo, you are now a full American citizen. Anybody who tells you that that's what Trump is going to do is lying to you. Trump has always said these people here illegally need to leave the country and then file to legally return. They have to follow the law, the correct immigration procedure. Here's me back in 2017. Trump didn't bring it up at the rallies, that's all. But his plan has always been touchback amnesty. And note, Brian referred to it as touchback amnesty before he became a full Trump supporter. It's touchback immigration. Anybody who tells you Trump's plan when he was running was to deport all these DACA kids back to Mexico or Central America and leave them there was fucking with you. That was never Trump's plan. So how could he betray his base by doing what he always said he would do? Again, none of this is a secret. That Trump fully planned to cancel DACA, then have all the DACA kids self-deport, and then file to come back legally. If you still didn't know this, that's your fault. Me in January of 2018. The usual hysterics have been at work. Let's clear some things up about Trump's DACA plan. All 1.8 million have to leave. They will be allowed to file to return legally. Not all will be allowed to return. Me in that same thread from January 2018. Still 100% true today. The border must be hardened. The wall must be in place before you start the big drive to deport those still unwilling to leave. There are conservatives out there shilling for clicks and attention, shrieking about Amnesty Dawn, who know this. They are fucking with you. These two guys here are fucking with you. They want you to believe Trump's going to wave some magic wand and all the DACA kids are going to instantly become U.S. citizens. If you still listen to them, that's your fault. As I said 2.5 years ago, hell yes, you take this deal. Trading legal status for 1.8 million DACA recipients with a 10 to 12-year pathway to citizenship, most won't complete, in exchange for border wall money, increased border security, the end of chain migration. Oh, hell yes, you make that deal. But people who have a vested interest in selling fear, panic, and outrage cannot accurately discuss Trump's actual immigration moves because it's not profitable for them to do that. Which is why I fucking hate these guys. They're on the Trump train. Oh, no, wait. No, they're off again. Hold it. They just came back on. Stop. They just climbed back off. And now they want you to trust their take on Trump's DACA moves over what Trump himself says. Why would you do that? The same people who wouldn't accurately tell you what Trump's actual DACA plans were 2 years ago, surprise, still aren't telling it to you straight. I did. My pinned tweet isn't just about the DNC news media complex, you know. The capital you function on in news media is trust. You lose some of that every time your readers, viewers, figure out that you sold a lie to them. Understand, Cernovich's one stupid pet trick has been screeching about stuff Trump never planned to do, like invade Syria with 100,000 US troops, and then do a victory lap over his influence in stopping Trump from doing something he was never going to do to begin with. Bannon's still out to screw Trump back for tossing him out of the White House. You think he's a good guy? Keep watching. That's all I'll say about that.